is produced by NUTV at the University of Calgary. The content of the program is the sole responsibility of the producer.
This week at NUTV, we chat with two student union representatives, a sit-down with singer-songwriter Hawksley Workman, and a special appearance by the Casa De Naz Art Collective. This is Full Frontal, and I'm your host, Judy Zhu. We're live this week from the NUTV studios.
To occupy and be counted.
She's the silver star.
You know, people just couldn't hold their
knowledge,
liquor
but you can't make the student think.
She's prepared. See, that's called corruption.
There's a lot the students' union can do.
The guitar and the double bass, but
to have a safe or secure life.
A new student union was elected at the University of Calgary elections last month. And joining us live in studio now is the newly elected VP Academic and VP Student Life. NUTV's Ben Rowe is here to chat with Emily McPhail and Ben Cannon.
Thanks, Judy. So I'm Ben Rowe, and I'm joined here by Emily and Ben Cannon. And you two were both recently elected to the incoming Students' Union. So my first question to both of you is, how did that moment feel, that moment of triumph? You want to walk me through that?
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead, Ben.
That moment for me was actually beautifully captured by both the Gauntlet and Student Union photographers. There's this photo of me like a second after I won where I've just got this like, ah, yeah, did it! Like this face of just, it's a little scary. If I wasn't me, I'd be scared of that guy who won. But I was very happy.
Should I be scared of you, Ben?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a puppy. I wasn't even in the den actually at the time because I was running an event on Foothills campus, and so it was actually kind of my campaign strategist who came over to tell me, and I definitely have to say that was probably one of the most surreal moments of my life. But walking into that den and, you know, being there with the newly elected SLC, that was an amazing moment. I'm so excited for this year.
I'm sure. You guys both ran very popular campaigns. I'm wondering if you are now feeling the pressure to kind of live up to the expectations of the people who voted for you. Emily, if you maybe want to handle that first.
Yeah, well,
I'll need Ben.
Definitely. Clearly, if you put yourself out there, and I made those promises and I said this is what I'm going to do, so I definitely am feeling that pressure to perform and to bring what was promised. But I think we've got a really good team, both with the staff from the Students' Union and the SLC, and I think that we're going to be able to do a good job in bringing that forward.
So no horrible fears yet? It's all
no
bright
horrible
clouds?
fears yet.
Yeah?
No.
Everything's good. And Ben, how about you? Where's the pressure coming from?
Oh, definitely. I guess from myself right now, maybe from other people as my term goes on and kind of deadlines keep coming up. But right now it's just a matter of kind of forcing myself. You know, like Emily said, we got a great bunch of staff and other elected officials. Everybody at the Students' Union just working, just making those plans right now so that we can get everything that we want to done by the end of the year.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, what was it that led the two of you to kind of want to get involved in student government? I know Ben, you've had a longer history with it, but I mean, what's sort of what was the initial moment that made you think that that was something you wanted to get involved in?
Can you take that? Well, I think that I've been pretty involved with a lot of the different offices on campus and a lot of different areas on campus, and just seeing all of the amazing work that they're doing, and I think talking to students and seeing ways that students have really good ideas to improve their academic experience, and my own just love of this campus. Those two things kind of combined made me want to put in another year in a different role on here, and I think that was the major driver. I've always been interested in being on the SU, and I think this was what I was really passionate about. So.
Yeah, I mean, once you start to get more involved in campus, it just kind of snowballs. Like, for me, it was like getting involved in the clubs for things I was interested in, improv, comedy, and stuff, and then, oh, those are clubs that are managed, sanctioned by the Students' Union. Oh, what is the Students' Union? Oh, they do all this other cool stuff, and just the more I learned, the more I wanted to be a part of it, and yeah, I have had the good fortune of being able to get myself in there quite a bit. So
you both mentioned that you've previously both been very involved with other things on campus in a variety of different roles, different campaigns, different programs. So now that you are facing a year as an SU rep, is there a fear of spreading yourself too thin? Can you still make all of those commitments? I mean, I would feel so much pressure having to answer to all of those different kind of demands. Yeah. And of course still keep up the grades and keep up your academic life, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just as you phrase that question, most of the times the actual school part of school becomes an afterthought in the wake of all of these extracurricular activities that we do. I mean, I feel like I had a pretty good idea coming into it exactly what the time commitment is going to be like, and so I have definitely taken a step back in some of the other things I'm committed to focus a little bit more on the Students' Union this upcoming year.
Right.
And as your incoming VP academic, I can't really endorse the putting school to the side thing, but I think this year I was going to be graduating this year, so it was already kind of my last year for a lot of things, and I'm excited to be working with those offices and those different groups in a different role. So obviously working in the VP academic role to kind of connect different areas rather than being super involved in those specific.
So as incoming VP academic, I mean, what are the things that you're most excited to tackle? What issues are you really most hoping to kind of put your stamp on, as it were?
Well, I mean, I'm really excited to keep working with the programs that we already have, so Teaching Excellence Awards and the Undergrad Research Symposium. I've loved working with that in the past, but I'm also excited to try and pursue some of the stuff I ran on, so like the rational exam scheduling and trying to get maybe more spots in some of the restricted classes and high demand classes, that kind of thing. I really want to work with the very basic but everyday concerns for the students. And
absolutely. I think it's fair to say that that'll improve student lives, but I think the VP who will most affect student lives is perhaps the VP of student life. So Ben, what are you excited to address?
Well, during the campaign, I might have branded myself focusing on a particular subject, as evidenced by some of my interactions with strangers on campus. It's always nice. Somebody recognizes me in the hallway and goes, "Hey, puppy rooms!" That is how they talk to me, and that's fine. I mean, it is definitely puppy rooms a big idea that we're looking forward to working on. But I mean, so much stuff in the student life portfolio, and I guess if I had to kind of distill it to one idea, is I want to spend this year making students happier and more engaged as much as possible, and I think that the two are absolutely correlated.
Right, and part of that was the full fall reading break idea.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is something that has been talked about for a couple years now. I mean, and it is definitely something that you know, there's so many different organizations, administration, everybody on campus that is involved in that. So I mean, there's so many concerns with the registrar, with whether students really want a full fall reading break or not. There's definitely been some concerns about that, but there have been some hopeful signs recently that that people like the idea and that it may soon be coming.
So a lot on the plate for both of you. Have you looked far enough into the future to think of you know, where you go next? I mean, is it first the Students' Union and then the world, or you know, I mean, does the interest in student government go past that to anything else?
In terms of politics, not really for myself. I'm hoping to get into the medical and research field after this, but I feel like I'm going to gain some pretty good skills here that'll help wherever I end up. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Who knows if the world is ready for Ben Cannon in political office? Everybody laughs. You'll see. No, I mean, I agree with Emily. I mean, just for right now, I mean, it's a great experience. I mean, just talking to previous and current executives, I mean, no matter where any of us are going in our lives, it's definitely a positive experience. We learn so much.
Well, you know, if I ever see Ben Cannon on the Prime Minister ticket, I'll have my vote.
Appreciate that.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming here tonight and talking to us, and I wish you both the best of luck with the upcoming academic year.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
And now it's time for another edition of Rob Reed's U of C Compliments.
Oh, me and Rufus were just having a staring contest. Let's get on with the compliments. Hugs are pretty great. Let's work on getting some hugs out there. I love me some hugs. You get all happy with dopamine, and whoa, drugs, man. Give someone a hug today. Hug a homeboy. Hug anyone. Maybe not anyone. Don't get arrested for assault. Pretty sound advice. How about a hug, Rufus?
Come here. Come here, you puppy.
The Boy Scouts of America are in the midst of some possible significant changes to their organization, similar to those Canada experienced in the 1990s. Haley McLeod has more.
The Boy Scouts of America have been the subject of controversy lately as they discuss the possibility of lifting the ban on gays in their youth programs. Scouts Canada has been an inclusive organization for many years now. They do not discriminate for reasons of gender, culture, religious belief, or sexual orientation. This hasn't always been the case, however. Maurice Chevalier describes the process Scouts Canada went through in the 90s when they decided to include women in their group.
Back in the early 90s, when we were looking at co-educational programs, my troop was one of the test troops. And they're going through what we went through 25 years ago. Ours wasn't nearly quite so public and wasn't quite so messy as what the Boy Scouts of America is.
Chevalier believes that the kids in the programs didn't have any real problems with the change.
It's the adults who get involved in stuff like that. From the kids' viewpoint, we had new scouts. They used to be guides. In fact, it smartened a lot of the guys up and made them work harder because the girls were putting them to shame.
Kristen Mackey, however, disagrees. Although she's certainly enjoyed being involved with the Scouts for most of her life, she admits that being a woman hasn't always made things very easy.
I had a leader come up to me and say to my 8-year-old face that he didn't think it was a good idea and he didn't think that I had what it took. And I remember in my 8-year-old mind thinking if this was because I was a girl, because I knew through all the hubbub around the Girls and Scouts thing. I knew that he was pretty against it.
Mackie explains that she made the transition to Scouts in the first place because she liked the activities they did more than she liked what the Girl Guides were doing.
I really wanted to play games, and I wanted to go hiking, and I wanted to go camping, and my Girl Guide group didn't really do that. And so for me, that was the appeal. That's why I wanted to go to Scouts, because I wanted to do that stuff. I didn't want to do crafts and makeup and fashion shows and things like that. I think one of the big issues when Scouts Canada was allowing girls, I think one of the biggest fears that people had was that girls would come in and change the program. We would make it like Boy Scouts with girls, and it would be different, and we'd be doing girl things. And I really think that some of the fear in the States is that gay people are going to come in and they're going to change Scouts. And in my experience, we didn't change Scouts. We just kind of came in and did what you were doing.
Professor Fiona Nelson explains that the foundations of Scouting have a big impact on the policies that both Scouts Canada and the Boy Scouts of America have on gender and sexual identity today.
Scouting started at the beginning of the 20th century and really was started as a response to concerns that people had, that men had about manhood, that they felt that boys were spending too much time with women and girls. And so that was always a very heteronormative model of what is a real masculine boyhood. And I think in Canada, yes, I think that we've moved beyond that, and Scouting has become something different. Scouting has become this fun thing, perhaps this character building thing, but that boys and girls can do.
So what is responsible for the difference in the way Scouting evolved in Canada to how it evolved in the US?
There are conservative right-wing forces in the US that are better mobilized and better funded. And I think also a different national sense of who we are. I think we do like to see ourselves as reasonable, civilized, progressive.
The Boy Scouts of America have postponed the vote on whether to expand the range of youth allowed to participate in their programs. Scouts Canada, however, will remain an inclusive and diverse organization. For NUTV, I'm Haley McLeod.
Take me to your leader. Sound familiar? Well, that's what we often associate with robots. But reporter Alibas Reba actually got a chance to get comfortable with these robots and their creators at the first Western Canadian Regional Robotic Competition.
The first robotics competition, what they do is we battle robots like you play sports. So we have teams of 3, it's called an alliance, and alliances fight each other for whatever game they plan out every year. And every year, it's a new game, it's a new surprise. So this year we're doing a disc game, we're playing Ultimate Ascent, where we shoot frisbees and we climb pyramids. It's really cool.
High school-aged robot builders came from as far away as Brazil and Mexico for the first ever FRC Western Regional Competition, part of the first Robotics Canada competition series.
We're from Mexico, from Querétaro. It's right in the middle of the country.
This competition is just to make sure that we win all the award spirit, team spirit, and Germans, and all the things that we need to win in this competition from robots.
We have been working since 2010, and last year we won the Entrepreneurship Award on Silicon Valley. Now we won the Team Spirit Award in this competition.
We would like to win the Germans.
Our team's from Granville, Michigan. We're way east, much farther east than Calgary here. It took about, I think, 4 or 5 hours of flying to get to Minneapolis and then get transferred to Calgary.
So how far have you guys gotten in this competition so far?
By the end of the 2 days of qualifications, 216, we ranked 5th out of 29. I think it's pretty impressive considering how far along the teams here have come.
Teams had only 6 weeks to build the robots from parts kits and were under incredible pressure to be ready in time.
The experience of learning and learning about life and organization and how you can solve problems in such a little space of time. That's the experience of robotics, and that's what it means to me.
There were no robotic monotones inside the Olympic Oval, though, which featured loud music and a chanting crowd more typical of a stadium event as teams competed to guide their robots in battle with opponents, firing frisbees to gain points.
So this is our robot that we built for the 2013 competition season. We named him Murdoch. It's a tall robot, obviously. We shoot full court, so that means we drive to the feeder station, we sit in the corner, we load discs, and then bomb them all the way down the field into the goals at the far side.
And how long did it take you to build this masterpiece?
So the way FIRST works is that they allow you 6 weeks to build these robots. They give you a kit of parts and they give you instructions on what the challenge will be. And then from that day, you have exactly 6 weeks to build a robot.
And how did you guys all get into this, you and your team members?
So our team captain was actually on another FRC team here in Calgary, the only one that was here previous to this year. And he came to Bishop Carroll and he started a team there, put up posters around the school, and we all got interested and we came out to the first meeting and the rest was history.
Robotics, you know, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's kind of changed my life. My freshman year, I came into the program not really knowing anything, and I almost quit, but my coaches encouraged me to continue on, and here I am now as a 2-year captain, leading a team that has been to has been to the World Championship.
I guess it's the fun of building a robot. I always wanted to build a robot, so. I love engineering. I heard about this competition and I thought, yeah, let's do it.
One is a singer-songwriter with 12 albums to his name. The other is a renowned Canadian playwright. Together, they have written and produced a show based on a particularly Vesuvius Greek god. Kara Lee Musters sat down with the co-writers at the Epcor Center.
We are here with the incomparable Hawksley Workman and Christian Berry, who have just created The God That Comes. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you for being here. So I have to start with, I saw the show last night.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And it was fabulous. We had such a great time.
Oh, good, good.
But I was a little bit surprised because I didn't know that The God That Comes actually meant The God That Comes. See?
And to be clear, The God That Comes has at least 2 meanings anyway, which is the god Bacchus did reveal himself in human form more than the other Greek gods, which is actually where the name comes from. But the double entendre is completely unmissable and very intentional on our part.
So given that you have, I think, 11 albums, so you have 11 albums and have won a Juno Award, what took you from music into theater?
Christian took me from music into theater. He had approached me many years ago about doing a show, and it took about 10 years of sort of remaining in touch and this idea to come along to find itself at the right time. What did we start about 1.5 years ago? So yeah, I think that it's not a huge surprise for people who know my music or have seen me play too that this would happen, because it always looked like I was maybe towing the line anyways when it came to adding as much theatricality into rock and roll as I possibly could without being thrown out of the game, you know. But
what are some of the surprises that you found moving from music to theater?
Well, the big one that I'm sure Christian is tired of me talking about, but it's the amount of time that we have lived in the creation process with it, and that the amount of time that we've allowed this thing to be called unfinished. And for me, I just have never operated with that mindset or approach ever before. Songwriting is it's almost an instinct or a reflex. You know, it doesn't take very long to write a song. It doesn't take very long to record a song, or it doesn't have to take very long to record a song. And I have a feeling I'm going to take longer to make records. I'm going to live with things a little bit longer.
I'm just going to back up a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the play, just for the audience? And did you guys create it together? So just a little bit about what it is and the history.
Yeah, sure. The God That Comes, yeah, we co-wrote it, co-created it. Hawk's the performer and I'm the director. It tells the story of the Bacchae by Euripides. So it's kind of a reimagining of that story in almost a rock and roll kind of a setting. There are 3 main characters in the play. There's the god Bacchus, there is the king, and there's the king's mother. And Hawk plays all the characters and all the instruments. And basically it tells the story of this kind of hedonistic spiritual revolution that is taking place in the king's city. And all the people are going out, climbing the mountain and worshiping the god Bacchus by engaging in bacchanalian activities, drinking, dancing, having sex, and kind of giving over to their carnal instincts. So it's about a reckoning between this king who's a bit suspicious of all these things and this new god who's come to who's come to his city for the first time. And so that's the story that plays itself out predominantly through song and through staging images. There's a little bit of text between the songs, but I think it probably lives and breathes and moves more like a rock and roll concert than it does like what you expect from a play. But it's definitely a play that, or it's either a rock concert that brings the theater into the rock and roll concert hall, or a rock and roll show that we've brought into the theater. It's some kind of a hybrid of those things.
In this show, even though it's 75 minutes, once you pick it up, you're holding that hot potato the whole show, and it doesn't really cool. You know? So you're, and then once it's done, you get to kind of relax again.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense, jam-packed 75 minutes, and it's a one-man show, so.
Yes, and it was riveting.
Yeah, oh, cool.
Like, I don't think there was a moment that you didn't wonder what's happening next.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I want to thank you both very much. That was a pleasure.
Yeah,
meeting you both.
Yeah, you too.
Good to meet you. Thanks.
And enjoy the rest of the run.
Thanks so much.
Looking forward to it. Thanks.
On this very special live edition of Dynamite, we name our 2013 NUTV Athlete of the Year. Who's it going to be? Find out in 3, 2, 1. Dynamite starts right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special live edition of Dynamite here on Full Frontal NUTV Live. Tonight, we name our 2013 Athlete of the Year. Our guest tonight helped lead the Dinos football team to a 5th straight Canada West championship, setting Canada West records and new school records for offensive production. Got a Canada West MVP award and a Heck Crichton nomination. So our 2013 Athlete of the Year is Eric Daleski. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's get right into it. How would you describe this year?
Well, I think it was a great year, offense, defensively, too. I thought we had a lot of contributors. I thought we had a great O-line. Our skill players were great. They made the games a lot easier on me, just distributing the ball and let them do what they do. But, you know, I think our coaching staff prepared us well for games, and that was a big contribution.
You put up some career numbers this year, and you passed for 70% of your passes, and new Canada West record in the process.
Yeah.
What does that record mean to you?
You know, it's something I cherish. As a quarterback, I'd like to be known as accurate passer, not you know, one that does not have accuracy. So I think it comes along with the position. I think that it's required. But you know, it's a very good standard to hold myself by, and I'm going to try to break it this year with 71%.
Of all the career games you've had this year, you've had quite a bit of them. What one sticks out to you the most?
I think the one in Manitoba. I think you know, we were close at halftime. I think it was a very close score, and you know, our team just got a gut check, and you know, really tested our character. And we went in there and we scored in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And so, you know, that was a real gratifying win, I would say. But, you know, there's a lot of games to choose from.
Every year you've played for this team, you've gotten, like, your numbers have gotten better and better. Like, what's your secret to the success?
I think it's hard work. I think that's what Coach No preaches. And, you know, I think we emulate that in the season. I think it's real transparent when you watch our games that, you know, a lot of hard work goes in the off season. And, you know, we just try to perfect our craft, and we like to have fun out there. And, you know, but hard work is my success. You know, I try to work as hard as I can. And, you know, I like to have fun with it.
It was clear very early on that this was the team to beat in the Canada West. Do you feel that you guys lived up to the hype that was put on this team at the beginning of the year?
I think so. I think that, you know, at first I don't think we lived up to it, but, you know, as the season progressed and as the games got tougher and the opponents got even better as the season went, I think we really showed our true colors in the conference games, and you know, I think we exceeded people's expectations.
You only played actually one full game this year from start to finish.
Yeah.
What made this team so good that you could just leave games early?
I think, we're just an explosive offense. I think that we could stretch teams vertically. I thought that we were physical at the point of attack. I thought we had a strong run game. And so I thought that we were really strong in all aspects of, the offensive game. And, we were just productive this year. And, once we got a lead, we just kept going.
Let's get to some of the negative stuff. But the Vanier quest ended early again this year to McMaster.
Yep.
You have had some time to sit on it. What do you think went wrong with the game?
I think that that night they had our number. They played better, and they deserved to go to the Vanier Cup. Unfortunately for us, we didn't execute our game plan. At times, we were just confused out there. I think they were a little more physical than us at the point of attack, but we played our butts off. I know everyone on the team gave 100% effort. We have no regrets about the game. What happened, happened. We can only move forward and get better, but I think that it only gives us more motivation for the new guys coming in, and I'd just like to say thanks to all the guys that left the team this year. There's going to be a couple, so. But other than that, we're just trying to get better.
What could have you done differently against McMaster?
I think just execute the plays. I think, the quarterback touches the ball every play, and it's my job to facilitate it and execute the plays. So I take sole responsibility of it. But, on a more somber note, you just got to get better and, try to get that Vanier Cup.
Much is said about this team and their inability to win the big games, like against McMaster and the year previous against Laval. And much of it, people think that the Canada West is the weakest conference because there's not really much parity other than there's Calgary, maybe the Saskatchewan teams, and then it's just kind of wide open. What do you say to the critics about the weakness of the Canada West?
Well, I think that, that's just unfair criticism. I think Coach No's done a great job as a recruiter, first of all, to getting the athletes here. To keep us at the top. But, I think that the competition is strong. I think that some teams struggled this year, but, there's a lot of parity. But I think this conference is going to increase its level of competition. We've set a bar that's been unprecedented since I think the 1930s was the last streak, of the Can West Championship. So I think this conference is going to get a lot better, and I'm looking forward to it.
It was kind of answered. I have a question. It was kind of answered yesterday with the announcement you guys are going to open the season against Laval. Do you think a couple out of conference games would show this team what they're up against against the East, like McMaster's and Laval's?
Well, I think that it'll give us a fair assessment where we are at the beginning of, or should I say, at the end of training camp. Laval is a great squad. They just won the national championship. But, we're really looking forward to the opportunity to go into Laval and, try to beat them. Though this is an exhibition game, it matters a lot to us.
So how can this team prove coming into the season that they do belong in the conversation with the elites like the McMasters and the Lavals and all of the other schools?
To be honest with you, I think we have proved that we are elite. I think that we just need to take the next step as a team and come together and in the big games, go out there and execute what we've been taught and our game plan, most important. And, just have fun out there. I think that we've got the team and the core group of guys to win a Vanier Cup. But, we just got to be clutch and we just got to seize the moment.
What can we expect out of the Dinos next year? Can this team win a 6th Canada West Championship in a row?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're training for. I think we've got a great chance, a great opportunity. But there's teams just gunning for us right now. So we just got to take a step back, train really hard, focus on what we do, take a game at a time, and just go out and have fun out there.
What are your personal goals for next year? Because, how do you top a year that you just had? You play, half the games, and you set offensive records. How do you top that?
Well, I think I'm just going to go out there and, have fun, try to focus on myself, and try to focus on every play that's called. And just be more of a team guy this year and, make the plays for the teams. But I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. I haven't really reflected on the season. Obviously, I put up some good numbers, but that's a moot point because we didn't bring home the Vanier Cup. But over time, I think hard work and dedication will get me by.
I want to talk. You attended the Stampeders training camp last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. Work with professionals. It's always fun. Working with Dave Dickinson and Coach Huff and the geniuses of CFL. It's a lot of fun, and it's a rare experience. And I got to perform and to be a professional for a month, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And I look forward to seeing what's after college football.
Leading into that, next, when the university career is over, do you plan on making the transition maybe to the CFL, or are you going to try for the NFL?
Whatever avenues open up, I'm definitely going to take them. I see myself playing into the future, where I don't know. But I'm just having fun playing football, and I'm going to play my years out until they come to an end, and I'm going to have fun doing it.
How has your off season been going? Like, what do you do in the off season other than go to school? But
yeah,
like, how do you? What does an off season consist of in Eric Gillespie?
Right. So starting January 8th, we have team workouts, and they start at 6:15 in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, with the exception of Wednesday. But they're just mandatory workouts. We work on explosive lifts, running, and just what comes with the lifting. But I try to lift my butt off. I don't like to sit on the couch and just watch TV or play Xbox. I like to be active. I think that just comes with my nature and my personality. And so usually you'll find me at the gym, hopefully, and at the library occasionally.
I got one more thing to talk about quickly.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen it, this is the brand new Dinos logo. I want to get your opinions on the new logo. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm waiting to see how it gets integrated into the uniforms.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, we just teamed up with Nike, and Nike's a global brand, and I'm really excited to wear their stuff. I'm a personal fan of Nike. Nothing against Under Armour. They're great sponsors, but we moved on with Nike, and I'm really excited. And the new logo is a new look, and excited to put on the jersey.
That Nike, can we expect the crazy awesome pro combat uniforms like Boise State and Oregon?
You'll just have to see. Come to the first home game, and you'll just have to see. Come support us against Saskatchewan. That's our first homecoming game, and the jerseys will be looking nice.
All right. That's all I have for questions. So
thanks
for coming in.
Thank you.
And Eric Gillespie, 2013 NUTV Athlete. Stay tuned for some more Full Frontal Live on NUTV.ca.
Awesome.
The third annual Greenlight Festival has come to a close at NUTV, and a successful one at that. A record 15 films were submitted in the 48-hour Eco Film Challenge, each unique in their own environmental messages. Of those 15, the NUTV Greenlight Gala viewers voted on the audience favorite, Team Gang Green's Minute to Live It.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. Welcome to Minute to Live It. I am the hostess with the mostest hair. Welcome. We have 3 teams here. It's the final competition. Item that was used way back in the day, before global warming took over, before we used and abused this earth for all of its resources, all the elements. We should have heeded to the warnings that were given about global warming, but we did not. 21,015 years after Earth. If you do not get it right, we give back to the earth what we took from it so many years ago, our lives. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. Use it wisely. Now, you guys come from an interesting place. Can you tell me where that is?
I come from this. Test tube number 493.
All the test tube ladies, now put your tubes up. 'Cause if you liked it, then you should have put a sperm in it. If you liked it, then you should have put a sperm in it. Oh, 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 oh. We all know the slogan for our game, and it is, this is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. You have 1 minute to tell me what this item was used for.
I know! A butt implant! No, that's dumb. What could this be used for? I know! Breast implants! I've seen this before! A watermelon launcher! Ready? 1, 2, 3!
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. Folks, it's not my favorite job when I stand here and say goodbye to a challenger who did not complete the task. However, it is part of the game, and as we move forward, we have our Pigment Challenge trio up for the next task. Welcome.
Means have less garbage. Reuse means to repurpose an item and to use it for other objects besides what it was made for.
And recycle is to take something and create it into a whole other art form.
Great Gatsby! We know what this is! Remember, great-great-great-great-grandma used to talk about this? It was back before global warming when that cold white stuff fell from the sky. I think it was called snow. Is it called a sled? You're right! That's it! Wow, imagine that!
I only wish that I was alive way back then because it sure sounded like a fun place to be. It's too bad we destroyed our Earth.
I know that if we were alive back then, we would have done everything we could to reduce, reuse, recycle, to preserve the Earth.
Golly gee, I'm so glad we guessed the object and we get thrown off the roof.
Now, we will pass on the microphone over to Rob Janowski with a new segment here on Full Frontal. It's Fireside Chats with Rob.
Welcome to Fireside Chat with Rob. Our guest today, Mr. Dale Howarchuk.
Hello.
How are you, Mr. Howardchuk?
Oh, really good. Thank you.
It's nice to have you on.
Yeah, thanks
It's
for
nice to have
having
you.
me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Howardchuk runs a very successful YouTube channel. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, it's called Canada for Fun, and it's about, well, it's about Canadian culture, and I make it from my garage, and the idea is to show, you know, the world what it's like to be Canadian, but it's for 4 to 6-year-olds.
Your songs have a certain leaning, though, don't they?
Yeah, well, I'm very much into old school hip hop, so it's very much about, you know, easy rhymes, so you're learning at the same time. We have a whole book of rhyming words that are about Canadian culture, and we sort of share that. And then we try to get guest MCs as well, so local hip hop artists from the different areas. I like to travel as well, so I'll go to small towns in Saskatchewan and Manitoba and sort of find, you know, the up-and-coming local hip hop artist and put them in there.
Okay. And I understand lately you've been trying to break away from YouTube and make it on television.
Well, I would like to have, you know, this is sort of my first television experience, but for me, I mean, this is where it's at. I mean, this is where I would love to be. I want to be the next Mr. Rogers, I'll be honest with you.
So, Mr. Howardchuk, this is where we kind of break it down on the show a little bit.
Word.
We get a little bit serious.
Word.
I roll up my sleeves. Have you ever been affiliated with any political parties?
Yes.
Which ones?
The Liberal Party of Canada, the Green Party of Canada, the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada, the New Democratic Party of Canada. I was a member of the Communist Party for a short time.
And what other parties were you a part of?
Sorry?
Maybe some sort of anti-immigration party of Canada?
No, not at all. I was part of a local border militia.
Sir.
Well?
Sir.
Well?
How many times do you vote in an election, sir?
Once, sir. Once. This interview's over.
No, no, sir.
It's
It's not. No.
I'm
No,
finished?
no,
Where
no,
do I give this? Where do I put this? I'm done.
Mr. Howardchuk? No. Sit back down, please.
You, sir, are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite, and you call kettles black when you yourself are a pot.
Well, this has been a fireside chat with Rob Janowski, my guest, Mr. Dale Howardchuk. Thank you very much.
Student loans, student visas, student money. Staying ahead while in school can be tough. Here's a tip to help you prepare for your financial future.
Hello, my name is Justin Charbonneau with Matco Financial here in Calgary, and this is your NUTV Smart Money Tip of the Week. Student loans are a great way to help you through your education. Just make sure that once you're done school and back in the workforce, that you pay them off as quickly as possible. They typically have a higher interest rate than a traditional line of credit interest rate, and they can start to eat away at any savings potential. Your education will likely be one of your best investments, so stay sharp and be money smart.
Staying active can be a challenge between school, work, and home life. Here's the one tip to help you stay healthy and fit this semester.
Hi, I'm Steve Brazel, a certified strength and conditioning specialist, and this is your NUTV Fitness Tip of the Week. This week we're going to do a rotational plank. So ladies, I'm going to get you to lie down, face down on your elbows, and then lift your hips, forming a nice stiff body from your shoulders to your heels. And we're going to rotate up onto our one shoulder. Let's go, one shoulder, all the way up. Keeping the body nice and stiff, so from our shoulders to our hips is moving as one piece. So we're going to rotate back down, put the elbow back down, and rotate up to the other side. Excellent. Keep those hips nice and high, and rotate down again, and up on the other side. Excellent. And one more time. Back down, rotate the hips with the shoulders, and back up. Perfect. One thing to keep in mind is that during all these exercises, we are trying to maintain a neutral spine. That means there's no rounding of the lower back. And when we do that, we are actually working our core in pretty much every exercise that we do. That's it, ladies. I'm Steve, and that's your NUTV Fitness Tip of the Week.
Whoa, it's double rainbow. Whoa, double rainbow all across the sky. Oh. It's so bright and vivid. Whoa, man. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God, oh my God. Whoa. Woo. What does it mean? It's a double rainbow all across the sky.
I'm joined here by Sabrina Naz from Casa De Naz. Thanks for joining us, Sabrina.
Thank you for having me and us.
Yeah, so my first question is, how long have you been dancing?
Oh, I've been dancing for roughly 16 years, if my math is right. So,
wow.
Sore knees, yeah.
And why is dancing so important to you?
Dancing is very important to me because it helps me connect to my culture. Growing up, that was also always something that I was really interested in and wanting to learn more and more about, and dance was really the vehicle to that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your project, Casa De Naz. How did you come up with it?
Casa De Naz, the inspiration from that came from actually a past graduate of U of C who studied in the dance program and the art program. Her name is Katie Danger Cat. So she had an art collective called House of Danger Cat, and she focused on styles like voguing, house, whacking, like really cool things. And when I was 16, I was able to go into the House of Danger Cat and travel, and basically just fell in love with the idea of mixing fashion, dance, and art and coming up with a brilliant product. So we do the same thing now. Obviously the inspiration came from Katie, so thank you, Katie. We do the same thing, but we do it with a Caribbean flair because that's my background.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who are the dancers in the group?
So you are about to see Pascal, Wumi, Anna, and Eris rock it out. The name of this piece is called Ragamuffin. It's a dance hall piece, so I hope you enjoy it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you meet these people?
I've known them for quite a while. I've taught some of them. I've danced with some of them. I've gone to school with some of them. We are all involved in this same dance community. So when one funky dancer sees another, it's like, oh, we have to connect. We have to work together and do something, right? So, yeah.
Okay. And do you have any goals for upcoming projects for Casa De Naz?
Well, on April 20th, we are doing a party at the Hi-Fi Club. Ring a bell, ring a bell. It's a dance hall party. So if you're someone who loves dance hall, reggae, soca, any Caribbean vibe or sound, this would be the party for you. We're opening for Vancouver's very own Tank Gyal. So if you like the sound of that, you should definitely come on by.
That sounds extremely cool. And where can we find more information?
You can find us on Facebook. Just search us, Casa De Naz, Naz with a Z. Yeah, and we'll be there.
Okay, definitely. Cool. Well, we'll see them perform later, but first, if you would like to get involved at NUTV, here's how. Visit us on the web at nutv.ca, phone us up, or send us an email. You can also find us in person, 3rd floor of the McEwen Student Center, right across from the old ballroom. Until next time, this is Full Frontal. I'm your host, Judy Zhu, and thank you for watching. Take it away.
Thank you.
Calling all dancers, let's put our dancing shoes and boogaloo, boogaloo.
Just touch the road, man. Ambition.
You can make it in a life, no matter which part you call your home. This stone where the builder refuse, turn round with the head, cornerstone. No make them tell you so you can't. You can be anything where you say you bob. No sit down with no hand panja, no lele, no lula la. Cause if him can do it, she can do it, them can do it, and the youth can do it. If Shelly can do it, Usain can do it, Chris Gayle do it, and the youth can do it. If Conscience do it, Pop can do it, Octane do it, and the youth can do it. If Matalan do it, Legion do it, but Stewart do it, and the youth can do it. Get to you. touch the road hungry. I know every question the answer and 9 and bumpy. Trigger finger too jumpy. Looking at yourself and wise and do something for your country. If your father was a bad man and go dead, how you feel want on a bad man? You mad man? You mother wash people clothes in a wash pan to make you have education. Hear the plan, touch the road and do it. Enough man do it, and if them do it, then the youth can do it. Look, baby do it, pepper them do it. With more do it, and the youth can do it. If father do it, cartel do it. I don't do it, and the youth can do it. If Mummy P do it, Babsy do it, Lisa Anna do it, and the youth can do it. Get mad now.
Girl, no go dance, I let her wine and drink. Put a wine, me girl, put a wine and drink. Me love when you wine and drink. Put a bubbling out when you wine and drink. Nou ka fe bouger les gal, nou ka fe bouger les gars. Et y'a ka wine gal, et ça s'explique. Let nou ka wine gal, nou ka fe mouiller les mailles. Wine and drink. Jaloux be jaloux, c'est wine for me. Y'all wine for me. Feel you bubbling out, wine and drink for me. Me love your back it up, me love your back it up. Me love your back it up hard when you wine for me. Tell me wine and cut. Know you love it, tell me wine and cut. Girl, move your dance, I let her wine and drink. Put a wine, me girl, put a wine and drink. Me love when you wine and drink. Put a bubbling out when you wine and drink. Sing le mazelka wine, mazelka bubbling a time. Mazelka wine up, wine for the remix, girl. Them
the way you show me good, why me left me man already. And you give me good loving, so me ready for go steady. Give me a baby. Anybody ask is shy. When you over me a wine and cut. Inna the ear me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. Charlie, know you love it, so me wine and cut.
Me like to say funny. I'm like to back it up.